Okay, let's talk a little bit about planting type stuff. When transplanting tomatoes and your pepper starts, how far down do you dig to get the roots?
I usually put them a little bit deeper than they came out of the pot, because the more of the stem in the soil, the more opportunity for roots develop. As the thing lays in the ground, you saw those fig starts you got, that was laying on the ground, the chickens kept up on it, and just coming off the branches, they develop the roots because they're connected to the soil. So the more material in the ground, the quicker it's going to come back.
So you'll dig it down, maybe say to the bottom leaf?
Not the bottom, but I go good, depending on the plant, you kind of get the sense, just plant it plenty deep. Better deeper than shallow.
But when you plant seeds, you don't even go to the recommended, you just
quarter inch, just barely covered. And again, the Creator only blows them in on the ground. All these weeds you see happening here, they just blew in, are growing great.
Is it okay to plant an apple, pear, or cherry tree in the same area, say 15 to 18 feet apart?
All but the cherry. Cherries are impossible to stay small. They lie to you if they're dwarf because they aren't, and they're going to get big. So never plant cherries with apples and pears. They're going to get way too big.
You would do the cherry trees on...
all by themselves. Look how big that one is. It's only 15 years old.
I just remember you saying, like, if you're going to do cherry trees, you do it on the border, on the backside of
they're for kids, they're great climbing trees. They're wonderful trees, but give them space to get big because they're going to.
And you want them shadowing the rest of your trees.
No, and they will. Rain Tree Nursery swore that they had a dwarf cherry. I called them on the phone and says, I don't believe this. This is no, I'm positive. I says, you guarantee it? Yeah. I planted my orchard the first year it grew 6 feet. I called him. I says, excuse me, 6 feet of growth the first year, and you're telling me this is dwarf? I had to get rid of it. I took it out because it just got too big. I had a plantment here. I planted when the thing was 3 years old. I took it out of my orchard because it got too big. Was burying my trees. 3 years old. My challenge is trying to contain things, not make them grow, man. To contain them.
When you plant the garlic, do you plant the whole clove or do you break it apart?
Just each little part is a seed. The clove, all the little multiple pieces is a seed, and just like a bulb, you put the root in first. And I just stuck it in the ground, barely, ground level. Put wishes over it, and you're good.
Okay. Will cutting flowers off of the garlic make it grow bigger?
No, but the flowers, you want it like that. It's called the scythe when it comes out and it creates a flower. You always prune it out because if you leave it, it's creating seed and it's pulling a lot of life out of the garlic bulb. And so I always cut those out and I eat them because they're really good. But you don't let them go long because they're going to reduce the size of your clove that you're growing.
So not cutting them will reduce the size.
Definitely reduce. Yeah, you want to cut those out because they're pulling major energy out of that bulb.
Will covering the potatoes with wood chips help protect them from the bitter cold weather we get in Canada?
Oh, sure. It's a major insulator.
Okay, let's see. I live in a very hot climate. How can I help the plants deal with the stresses of heat?
Plant trees. Create shade.
Sometimes I do these questions and he'll go on for an hour about one thing, and sometimes he's like, yeah. Kills me every time. And it's so easy too. He's like, there was one what did I ask you about? This guy had pot trees in pots or something like that because he was going to move, and he wanted to know how to protect them from like the snow, and you're like, put them in your garage. Okay.
Works. Keep it simple, folks.
Just, you never know what to expect. Okay, we're going to start talking about pests.
Well, pests don't exist.
I know. I have fruit worms that eat the leaves of my plants. How can I prevent them from killing my plants?
Water your plants. Get the plants well. If plants are full of water and nutrition, bugs will not eat them. Bugs only eat dehydrated stressed plants because they want cellulose and fiber. If your plants are full of water, they bite into it and they drown. They're out of it.
How do I keep birds out of my garden?
Well, what kind of birds? I can't keep robins and those kind of birds out, but when it comes to crows, I kill a crow and hang it up, and that keeps everything, keeps them out. Because they're smart and they see a dead one, they know it's not a safe place to be here.
Now, I've been here more than once. And I can't remember a time that I've seen a bird anywhere in your garden.
Well, they fly around. They're around. They're all over the place.
Top of the...
Oh.
And then when they come here, they eat a lot of my blueberries, but I have plenty for everybody, so it's not a problem. So I don't have a problem with the little birds. It's the crows that what they'll do, they'll bite into an apple, take 2 bites and go to another one, and just damage all your apples. They don't eat the whole apple. They're really, like, you know, very unkind to your place, so I have no tolerance for those crows.
We have moles. What should we do?
You could use the mole trap. The best one is Victor. It's a scissor type trap, and it's really effective. The other way, how I deal with them is I have cats. And how cats work is you feed them 1 meal a day, and you tell them you were created to be hunters. There's a lot of food here, go to work. And you look at my cats, they're very robust, they're not skinny, but they only get fed once a day. And the rest of the day they're on their own, and they know how to get, and they get all my moles.
So dogs would not do that?
No. Now I had a retriever once, a golden retriever that got moles. The cat taught it how to do it. It was really good friends with the cat, and the cat actually taught the dog. And I tell you, that dog was awesome. And to see this dirt flying, and it would track that, it would get the moles, man. She was great, but I only saw that once.
Now the dogs are here for
The deer, keep the deer out.
And the bear.
Well, they don't keep the bear out. When the bear shows up, they bark, and I go out with them, and the bear leaves. Because there's a size difference.
So keeping the birds away from your apricots. Do you have apricots?
I have apricots in Sweden, yeah.
And they don't just eat them all? Because they always get ours. So we
keep a cat out. Cats are good for getting birds. My cats get birds.
Yeah. Now I gotta retrain my dogs. I have dogs, so I don't have cats.
Well, see, I have this dog I'm training. I put that post out there and say I take her out there every night on a chain. And here come in, she's on it, you know, but she's learning that this is what you're here for. I mean, if I wasn't putting her out, she'd just be sleeping in a doghouse. But I take her out, she's now tears it, and it's just great. I hear her all night long barking. She's on it, man. But I am training her because it's not something that came naturally. But she's here for a reason. I tell her, you know, I have you here for a reason. You gotta get these deer out of here, so you're working tonight. This is your shift.
I sat and looked at that pole for about 5 minutes today, just trying to figure out what it possibly could be for.
Out in the grass?
Yeah, out there where we were parked.
Dog, yeah.
I was like, why is this
Why is this here? In the middle of everything.
I mean, I racked my brain. I had no clue
Yeah,
for the
that's
dog.
for the dog. My dog's being trained.
So the dog basically is on a chain? And
It's on a chain, yeah. And I'll tell you, a deer shows up, man, she's barking. And the deer, you know, they don't want to be around a barking dog.
I haven't seen Tearsley today at all.
Well, she's back. She's tied up.
Oh, in the
because
back.
she's a puppy and she
She
likes to
wants.
run off, and she's being trained.
what breed is it?
She's a golden retriever. I've had Labradors in the past, but one of Carol's clients had this dog. She's a sweet dog. You should see her. She comes in the house at night with me, and I pick arugula, and she sits on the chair, and she's got her head on my lap, and every leaf I give her one. She's totally eating arugula with it. She loves it. It's so hilarious to watch. I mean, she's nudging me for more. She just totally loves arugula. She doesn't care for spinach. She just put that out, but arugula is her favorite green, man. It's so hilarious. And so we a lot of times just hang out there and eat arugula together, you know.